problem. I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another transfer video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the likes, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. And in today's video, we're discussing the future of Noni Madueke because according to the Independent in the UK, Chelsea and Arsenal have begun talks over a move for Madueke, with Chelsea wanting 50 million for the England international. I remember, guys, where a week or so ago, a report came out from Matt Law stating that Madueke was attracting interest from a number of clubs and he was on Arsenal's radar. Chelsea weren't actively looking to sell him, but of course, if a suitable offer came in, then they would be open to that. Well, we have had more news on that matter. And Miguel Delaney in the Independent has said, Arsenal and Chelsea have been in talks over Madueke. Chelsea want £50 million. Arsenal don't want to pay that price right now. The article itself says that London club staff have discussed a potential move for Chelsea's Noni Madueke. Arsenal have been speaking to Chelsea. And the Stamford Bridge hierarchy anticipate another summer of high activity. The arrival of Brazilian revelation Esteval from Palmeiras is set to create further competition for places in Enzo Maresca's front line. Chelsea, nonetheless, want 50 million for Madueke, which is not a price Arsenal want to go to right now. There is a possibility a deal may be revived later in the summer. Now, Madueke divides opinion at Chelsea. I, for one, actually like him. I think he's done well this season. I think he's pushed on. I think he's developed under Maresca. He provided the most output out of our wingers last season. Now, make of that what you will. Was the crop of wingers we had last season great? Not really, but he still produced the most output out of those wingers. You know, he's direct. He takes players on. He's not afraid to get a shot off. Yes, there's a lot of improvement that needs to be made. End product can still get better. You know, maybe he could be a bit more selfless in terms of picking a pass rather than going for a shot, all these sorts of things. But if we're going to push forward and if we're going to be serious as a team, then the likes of Pedro Neto, the likes of Noni Madueke, these guys need to be rotation options in the squad. You know, I don't think we can really push on and achieve a lot more if Madueke and Neto are our starting level wingers. Now, 50 million quid for Madueke, I think that's about right, to be perfectly honest. We signed him for, 29 million back in January 2023 from PSV Eindhoven. He's done well. He's developed. He's an England international now. You could say he's an established Premier League player. He's shown that he can perform at a certain level for Chelsea. And 20 million profit in 2 and a bit years? That, I think, is more than fair, given the nature of the market, given the fact he's an England international, given his age, given the length left on the contract, given we would be selling to a Premier League rival, potentially. I think all those things taken into account, I think £50 million is a very fair price. Now, obviously, there's a long way to go between Arsenal and Chelsea having talks to Noni Madueke holding up the Arsenal shirt. Of course, it's clear Arsenal probably won't pay that much money. Madueke, if he went to Arsenal, would probably be an alternative option to Saka. Maybe he would play, as an alternative option to Gabriel Martinelli as well. What we also need to remember, guys, is that even if Chelsea and Arsenal at some point this summer agreed a fee, ultimately, all of that is irrelevant if Madueke doesn't want to leave, if Madueke is happy at Chelsea. Chelsea are not actively looking to sell him. So this would very much be a situation where Madueke would have to want the move. And right now, I don't get the feeling that Noni wants to leave Chelsea. And we need to remember as well, guys, we've got 3 wingers in our squad right now. Madueke, Neto, and George. Tariq George is young, raw, not ready. Neto and Madueke, as I've said, are rotation-level wingers for a Champions League club, if we're being brutally honest with ourselves and we want to push forward. We're struggling to get a deal done for Jamie Gittins. Liverpool are leading the race for Malik Fofana. Bayern could sneak Gittins ahead of us, potentially. If you then sell Madueke, we're struggling to get one winger through the door. You've then got to go and get another one. And as we know, the left winger market is not good, or the winger market in general is not good. And I refuse to believe that anyone would be happy with Esteval and Neto on the right, and let's just say Fofana and Gittins on the left. That's not better than what we had last season. So you've got to be careful what you wish for. I haven't got an issue if Madueke leaves Chelsea as long as someone considerably better comes in. The problem is the wingers that we're being linked to are not at this point in time any better than what we've got. And there lies the issue that you would actively be making the squad worse. Now, whether people's opinions are, oh, Gittins is way better than Noni, so's Fofana, this and that or whatever, that's your opinion. But let's be real here for a moment. And Gittins and Malik Fofana definitely got potential to be better than Madueke and potential to be top players. But if we're talking right here and right now, if all of them are at Chelsea next season and they all played similar minutes, for me, Madueke would be getting the most output, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, okay? But that is my opinion on it. And I just think Chelsea would be making a mistake because Madueke, every season that he's been here, has got better. Maresca clearly likes him. He played 41 games last season, played 32 games in the Premier League. Most of those starts. Yes, out of his 7 or 8 Premier League goals, 4 of them were against Wolves. I fully understand that and I hear it. Okay. But he's an important part of the squad. But we can do better. And he would be great to have as a rotation option. We're going to be playing over 60 games next season. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be all sorts going on. So why not? Why not have him as a rotation option? Have Neto as a rotation option? But you need more quality because Madueke, Esteval, George, Neto, and Gittins, that's not good enough to move us forward as a team and to get us contending for the big trophies. You're not going to win a Premier League with those guys as your wingers. You're not going to get far into the Champions League with those guys as your wingers. So output from the wide areas and quality in the wide areas is a major, major issue at Chelsea and is one that needs to be addressed. And if you look to move Madueke on, you know, who is coming in? Do we trust the directors to get anyone better in? That's the big thing for me. And right now, with the targets we're looking at, I don't trust the directors to bring considerably better players in than Madueke. I just don't. Noni's not some sort of world beater by any accounts, but he is a good level player who can be who's very good squad rotation option. You know, I don't want to sell him, but you could understand from Chelsea's perspective, given Esteval on the right, Neto on the right. Okay, you can get that. But I really feel that Madueke is at a stage right now where next season he could really push on. And you just don't want to see him push on in an Arsenal shirt or see him push on at another club. I really do feel like he's ready for something big to happen. But that needs to be at Chelsea, not at Arsenal or not elsewhere. I know Madueke divides opinion. That's my thoughts on it. Chelsea and Arsenal have held talks. Chelsea want £50 million. Let's wait and see what happens, guys. But let me know your thoughts. Is £50 million a fair price? How do you feel about Noni going to Arsenal? And are you concerned about the lack of quality in the wide areas? And are you concerned about the targets? Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Thoughts in the comments. I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Love.